Hi, it's me, Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Thank you for being here with me anyway, wherever you are in the world. If you've not seen my videos before, my name is Vicky. I talk about true crime or all sorts of things, but mainly true crime. And thanks for being here, and please like the video and subscribe. Now, as the banner going across the bottom, I want to say a big thank you, first of all, before I do anything, to all of you out there who've already subscribed to my channel or liked my videos or become a member of my channel, sent me a Ko-fi or sent me a super sticker, etc. Any way you've tried to support my channel, which even if it's just watching and you don't do any of those other things, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the banner now. Oh, and I want to say quite a few of you sent me an email worrying about me, which is so sweet, because over the last few days, definitely, I know I haven't done maybe as many lives as I would normally. And there's various reasons for that. Mainly because it's got quite hot here now. For those of you who know, I'm here in Spain, or those of you who don't know. I live in Spain. We're coming into the summer. It's getting hot in the evenings. It's quite hot. And, you know, the thing is, the cases that I talk about are so important. If I'm feeling a bit sort of not quite feeling it because I'm hot or tired, or, you know, and also I have another job, of course. I do teach Spanish as well, which I do a lot of talking most of the day. So sometimes in the evenings, especially, I don't feel like talking. And because the cases that I cover are so important, you know, it's important to be on the ball, if you like. I don't want to do talk about people like Rachel Morin that I'm going to talk about today when I'm a bit tired. Oh, here's Rocky. This is little Rocky coming and sitting down with me. You know, I don't want to talk about them when I'm a bit tired and I can't do it justice what I want to say. So that's sort of why. Also, we've got, I'm from the UK originally. We've got an election coming up soon. I've been a bit glued to all that, the shenanigans going on there. And I mean, you know, and I will be doing some more videos about the election as well. We can't keep up with that. There's always something happening about that. But so yeah, it's like there's always something to do videos about. But unfortunately, I haven't always got the time or the inclination to do them. Now, as we come up to the weekend, oh God, it's only Wednesday actually, isn't it? I was thinking it was Thursday, but you know, I do have more time at the weekend to do things with the YouTube channel because I don't do classes at the weekend. So I'm planning this weekend, coming up to this weekend, I'm going to do a lot more live videos or just videos. But I know a lot of you like the lives because you like to chat as well. You like to chat amongst yourselves. And I'm going to say hello to everyone in a moment because I can see you already chatting a lot amongst yourself. So I want to thank everybody who has emailed me saying, am I okay? So probably only been 2 days since I did a live in the evening or whatever, but feels like a long time, doesn't it? And they all say they miss me, which is so nice. And I miss you all as well if I don't do a video, but just there's a limit to how much you can do, that's all. Where am I going now? So now there are certain cases, aren't there, that we're following closely, that we've followed right from the beginning. Can't keep up with them sometimes. Sometimes they go very quiet. Sometimes there's a flurry of activity. And one case I want to talk about today, because this is a case that sort of has gone quiet, really, you know, and we don't seem to be any closer to finding the killer. But so I want to keep it in people's minds because I want people to remember this lady, Rachel Morin, who's a beautiful sort of mother of 5 children, who literally went for a jog last August in the Mar and Par Trail in Maryland and was found brutally murdered the day after. And to this day, her murderer is still roaming free. So it's been nearly a year. You know, we were not that far off a year, and her murderer still has not been found, despite the fact that the police have DNA. They're linked him to another crime right over the other side of America. They have a really good photo fit picture of him. Here he is. You know, he's got that horrible, contemptuous face. You know, somebody knows who this man is. Most definitely somebody knows who he is, but he's not got caught yet. So we're going to look at some things about Rachel's case. We're going to also look at how the father of one of her children, her oldest child, her ex-partner, searches for her. He lives in the area where she was found, near the trail where she was found. And well, he's not searching for her because she's been found, but searches for evidence and information. And he believes, and I agree with him, that the answer lies in that area. And I believe that as well. This man is known in that area, I think. It's just a question of finding the people who will give him up and maybe some evidence. Anyway, so that's what we're going to look at. We're also going to look at an advert that a mum made to go out on social media to, you know, begging for help. We're going to look at the last update from the police department. There has not been an update from the police department for 3 months or something. On the 6-month anniversary of her murder, they made an update, and there has been no update since then. Now, we know that doesn't mean that nothing's happening or they're not doing anything, but it's just seems crazy that when you've got someone's DNA, you've got this photo of them, you've got witnesses there at the park. Somebody, you know, why has this man not been able to be identified or arrested? Has he left the country? You know, this is a possibility. Is he being hidden by somebody? You know, has he done something like this before, or has he done it since? So these are the questions we're going to look at today. And the strange thing, if you like, or not the strange thing, but the contrast with this case and the other 3 cases of women who were murdered or allegedly murdered, so different, because in this case Rachel Morin's body was found immediately, but what they can't find is her attacker. And then the cases we've been looking at about Samantha Murphy and Anna Knezevic, their murderers or alleged murderers are in custody. Patrick Stevenson over there in Ballarat in Australia, he's in custody for Samantha's murder. And for Anna Knezevic, her husband David, he's in prison in Florida for her murder, but their remains have not been found. So it's sort of, these are similar cases in some ways, but the difference is, whereas Anna and Samantha's family and friends are still waiting to give them a respectful sort of burial, you know, to say goodbye to them properly because they don't have their remains. Rachel's family have been able to do that, but what they don't have is the comfort of knowing that the man who did this to Rachel is behind bars. So it's a big contrast, isn't it? And I am 100% certain that Samantha Murphy will be found and that Anna Knezevic will be found. It's just a question of when, isn't it? And also, though, what worries me about this case is, will this man be found? How has he got away so far with being undetected, unidentified? Is he alive still? I mean, he might have unalived himself, I suppose. You know, there's a possibility. You know, I'd like to say I hope so, but I don't, because then what I want is Rachel's parents and family, her siblings, her kids. I want them to have the peace of mind of knowing that this man is off the streets. Okay, so I'm going to say hello to you all now. Okay, Whoops, I've got a long way up to go. Hi, Chumba. Hi, Annie. Oh. Hi, David. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Michelle. Kelly, I've said loads. Hi, Heather. So you're all chatting amongst yourselves, joking amongst yourselves. Hi, Laurie. Good morning. Okay, so let's see what we're going to look at. I think what we're going to look at is the last update that the police gave, which was, a couple of months ago. Now, if you watch my channel on a regular basis, you'll know that I did actually contact the Sheriff's Department to see if they had any update. But I was told very nicely, very politely, no, there was no more updates. And if there were any updates, they'd be shared on the social media, but to keep keep focusing on Rachel, keep keep her in the eye of the public, etc. They were very nice, very kind. Hi, Daniel. But no update. So what we're going to look at first is the last update. So this was at the 6-month sort of milestone, if you like, or anniversary. I don't like that word, anniversary. But this is the Harford County Sheriff's Office. This is my sheriff, Jeffrey. He's, I quite like him, but he's gone a bit too quiet now. I'm going off. You can go off, people, Jeffrey. You need to make some more. I mean, I suppose they're thinking, what's the point in coming on and doing an update if there is no update? So this was quite a long time ago, this update, 6 months after she disappeared. So she disappeared in August. So this was February time, and we're now in June. No update since then. I expect there'll be another update when it comes to the year's anniversary. This was quite a big update because this is when the sheriff showed us the photofit that had been organised, and also came out with some new details that we did not know. So I just want to read this out to you. So this is the last thing that we heard about this case. This week marks 6 months since Rachel Morin was needlessly and tragically killed while on the Mar and Par Trail in Ballarat. We sat down with Captain Andy Lane, who is overseeing the investigation, to find Rachel's killer, to record this special edition of Into the Sheriff's Spotlight with never before released details. So they did give out some never before released details. We hope you will take a listen. Over the last 6 months, detectives have conducted more than 100 interviews and followed up on more than 1,000 tips. Their investigation has led them to 7 different states, with 10 federal, state and local agencies assisting. So this is a complication in this case, because it turned out the guy had committed another crime right over the other side of America in Los Angeles. You couldn't get much further away from Maryland. And it was stopped, luckily. The attack, if you like, it was a home invasion. Sheriff Garler said that he felt if he hadn't been interrupted, this would have ended up just the same as the Rachel Morin case, which is very worrying. But he was stopped, he was interrupted, and he left the house. We saw the video of him leaving the house, and he left his cap behind, and that's where they've got the DNA from. And that's where they matched up the DNA from the cap, baseball cap that's left behind, to Rachel Morin. But you think, honestly, I can remember that press conference as clear as day. They're going to get this guy so quickly. When you've got DNA you know, and he's committed other offences, but it hasn't worked out that way. But of course, it's made it more complicated because he's obviously crossed the country in some way. Did he cross it in an aeroplane, or did he go in a car, or did he use public transport? Did he hitchhike? Has he travelled because of work? You know, we don't know the circumstances. And of course, as usual, the police will definitely know a lot more. So even though they release this more information, there'll be more to release, no doubt. Anyway, so thousands of bilingual flyers have been distributed in Maryland and California, and this investigation has not slowed or stalled. Just this week, we were able to finalize a sketch of the suspect. Listen to Captain Lane and explain how the sketch was developed. We're not going to listen to the podcast. We did listen to it in another video. I'm just going to read it out to you, but there is a podcast to listen to as well, but we've already listened to that. Yeah, who did he speak to? Where did he? Oh, now this is, to me, I think this is key, and I think it's true. We believe there are still people who can provide information. Detectives believe the killer may have been in the area for days before the crime. Now, they'll have a reason for that. He'll either have been seen on CCTV or by witnesses. I think 100% he was comfortable in that area because he literally dragged Rachel off the trail. He laid in wait for her. You know, did he know she was coming? Had he been stalking her? Or was she just the unlucky one? Was he waiting for a woman, or was he specifically waiting for Rachel? He took her off the trail, took her to a tunnel that only if you knew that trail well, that's the only way you would even know these tunnels were there. You had to go, you know, it was August, the trees would have been thick with leaves, etc. You had to drag her off the trail, take her to this tunnel, which wasn't, you know, it wasn't that far away, but it wasn't literally right there. I mean, he had to drag her a little way. Yeah, no doubt he knew that area. So somebody in that area knows him, in my opinion. So while he was here, where did he stay? Who did he speak to? Where did he work? If you have a tip, please send your information to rmtips@harfordsheriff.org. So the reward still stands of $35,000 for information. So that's quite a big amount of money, isn't it? So it says, as you listen to the podcast and view the sketch, please keep Rachel's family in your thoughts. Remember Rachel. Remember the area she was in. If anyone remembers anything moving forward, these small details can be the details that break the case. And it's true, you just never know. Someone who maybe hasn't watched this video before might just catch my video or anybody else's video. It might be because they did, you know, they didn't find me, if you like, or whoever through the Rachel Morin case. Maybe they've been watching the Micah Miller case or some other case, you know, that in America, and then this video has come up and suddenly think, oh yeah, I live in Maryland. Oh yeah, I've seen that man. So, you know, you just don't know from 1 minute to the next what might come up. So I wasn't going to watch it. Let's see. Is it a long video? Yeah, it's 40 minutes. So I'm not going to watch this video because I've got lots of other things to show you. But I did. It's not a video.
All right. Hi, this is Sheriff Jeff Gaylor.
It's not a video. It's a podcast. We have listened to it before on another video. If I remember, I'll put the link in the description box or somewhere so that you can listen to it. But you can listen to it on YouTube anyway. But yeah, so this was the last update. This was back in February. I don't think there's an actual date on this, but it was the 6-month anniversary, if you like, and she disappeared in August. So it was likely February, March time. And since then, nothing, nada, zilch. Absolutely nothing since then. No update. As I say, I'm not saying that that means that they're not doing anything or they're not still investigating. But what it does mean is that, there's no breakthrough, no development. Where is he? Where is this man? So, somebody knows where he is. And I think people in that area where she went missing, I think they know this man. People would know him. I think he'd be known in that area, definitely, because he was so familiar with it. How did he get familiar with that area if he's not spent lots of time there? Okay, so what we're going to look at now is an advert that her mother and family put out, on social media. Sorry, I find it. And when I find it, put some windows down again. Everything. Gosh, seems to be worse when I have things ready. You can never find them. Ah, there it is. Okay, so this is her mum, and you can see when you watch her mum speaking, you can see she's desolate with grief, and she's had the comfort of being able to bury Rachel, knowing where she is. She's not out in the elements. This is the awful thing for Samantha Murphy and Anna Knezevic's family, not knowing where they are, that they've just been discarded like rubbish. Now, unfortunately, Rachel was also discarded like rubbish, but at least they've been able to claim her body back and give her some dignity. So this is Rachel's mum, and she made a commercial with her solicitors, if you like, and this was released on social media.
Rachel Morin was my daughter. She was a mother to 5 children. She's a sister. Somebody just grabbed her and took her. If he's willing to kill a perfect stranger, he's willing to kill anybody. If you know this person, turn him in.
Let's do this. Let's catch this guy and bring peace to Rachel Morin's family. For more information, visit the website below.
So yeah, let's just watch that one more time.
Rachel Morin was my daughter. She was a mother to 5 children. She's a sister. Somebody just grabbed her and took her. If he's willing to kill a perfect stranger, he's willing to kill anybody. If you know this person, turn him in.
Let's do this. Let's catch this guy and bring peace to Rachel Morin's family. For more information, visit the website below.
So I think that's very powerful. It's only short, but it's very powerful. Seeing her mum talking and being so upset, and also she did some interviews at the time. We looked at them in another video. It's so sad, so sad. So anyway, what we're going to look at now then, this is something we have not seen before. So the father of her oldest child, because the other sad thing that's happened, because Samantha had 5 children, but there were different fathers involved. But not Samantha, Rachel. So, but they were all living with Rachel, so they were all living together, even though they were like half siblings, if you like. But of course, when Rachel died, they all had to separate. That family has had to separate, because they've gone to live with their respective fathers. So it split up the family as well. It's bad enough losing your mum, isn't it? But then your whole family, your whole world is sort of, disrupted. Hi, Gillian. Okay, so let's have a look now at that's a lovely picture of Rachel. I hadn't seen that picture before. I mean, obviously she always looks lovely. She's a very beautiful, very striking woman. If Rachel Morin walked past you on the trail in Maryland, on the Mar and Par Trail, which is like a national park type, state forest type scenario, You would notice her, whether you were a man or a woman. She was distinctive. She was striking, and this is what makes me wonder if that guy, whoever he is, had seen her, maybe laid in wait specifically for her. Now, Sheriff Gala, he did feel that maybe she'd been stalked. That's my personal opinion, that she had been seen and stalked. Maybe she'd been seen a few times. Maybe that guy had been there for weeks, because the other offence that he's accused of happened months before. So this was August. The other offence that he committed in March. So maybe he went to Maryland to escape any repercussions from what had happened in Los Angeles. Maybe he'd been there ever since March. He could have been there for months, and on a regular basis he might have seen, that was Rachel's local trail. Her mum said how comfortable she felt there, so maybe he saw Rachel on multiple occasions, maybe even spoke to her sometimes. These are things that the police will know more details of. I personally think it was a deliberate act, because just where he waited for her as well, it was the ideal point, if you like, to wait for somebody. We watched a video on that. Her brother and her ex-partner were there at the actual scene and showing how there was one place, that you could stand and wait for somebody going past on the trail, and you could see both ways really clearly. So you could see if there was nobody about. And that's when he took Rachel, dragged her into the undergrowth, dragged her off to the tunnels. Now, maybe he'd been there before looking at Rachel, but that was the day. Maybe that was the day where he looked both ways and there was nobody in sight, and that was the day he could take her. She could have been in mortal danger even before that. We'll never know that unless he tells us, if he's ever caught. So Rachel Morin, her former partner, scours the woods for clues, hunts for the killer in Ballarat. The father of Rachel Morin's adult daughter has been scouring the woods around the Mar and Par Trail, hunting for a killer in Ballarat. And actually, while I remember, I haven't lit my candle yet. So the candle today is for Rachel, of course, or for finding the killer, and also for Samantha, finding Samantha's remains and Anna Knezevic's remains. So those three ladies that we've been following their cases, that's who, hold it up, that's who the candle specifically is for today. But as always, the candle is always for all of us who need it, really. Anyone who needs a prayer, the prayer is going out for you. Okay, let me carry on reading this. So I've seen that he's been on quite a few. This is Matt McMahon, the father of her oldest child. He's been on quite a few social media interviews, on all sorts of different, trying to raise awareness, along with her brother and her mum, of course, from time to time. They're just trying to keep. I know what it'll be now, what their fear now will be. They don't want this to turn into a cold case. They want this guy caught in prison. At least that's a comfort, isn't it? So they might have been able to bury her respectfully, but they want him caught. So what they'll be frightened of is letting this just sort of, there's always new stories, isn't there? There's always new crimes, things people talk about, etc. So they won't want Rachel's name to be forgotten. They'll want it to be kept in the public eye. And I certainly will try my very best. So at least once a month, do some sort of highlight profile on Rachel and what we know. And if anything else, obviously, if anything new comes out, sometimes it's hard to keep it going if there's not new things coming out. But I found this article and I thought it'd be interesting to go through, and also would help, because this is April the 30th. But I'd only just found this today. So there's always new things perhaps that we don't know. So the father of Rachel Morin's adult daughter has been scouring the woods around the Marnpar Trail and hunting for a killer in Ballarat. But I think that's what I'd been. You just couldn't help it, could you? I know Mick Murphy, he goes out, doesn't he, walking around trying to find any trace of Samantha, to try and find some clues as to where her remains are, even though he has been told, bluntly by the police that she is not alive, in their opinion. Well, of course, we've had a big breakthrough there last week with the phone, with the finding of the phone. Hopefully, this week that maybe there'll be another breakthrough. Any day could be the day, couldn't it? So while the investigation into the homicide of Bel-Air mother of 5 Rachel Morin has taken officials across the country, so of course a lot of focus is on Los Angeles as well, because we know he was there. But the father of Rachel Morin's oldest daughter has been searching for overlooked clues close to home, canvassing neighbourhoods and trekking through the woods around the Marnpar Trail where Rachel's body was found. Oh God, they're so disrespectful. The mainstream media, they're awful. How they just refer to her as Morin. Matt McMahon, father of Rachel's 18-year-old daughter Faye, told Patch the Hartford County Sheriff's Office still has 3 detectives dedicated to the case, but no arrests have been made yet in the brutal slaying of Rachel, 37. They still have quite a lot of information to sort through and leads to follow. Faye and I have complete faith in their work and believe they will identify and apprehend the suspect. Matt McMahon told Patch. I don't know who Patch is. I presume Patch is the reporter. And I do feel that they will catch him. It's just, it's just frustrating sometimes. It'll probably happen all of a sudden. This is what normally happens in these cases, isn't it? Feel like, oh God, there's been no news for ages, and then suddenly something breaks. In the meantime, Matt continues to comb the neighbourhood adjacent to the Marnpar Trail, near where Rachel's body was found in August 2023. He teamed up with former FBI profiler Tim Papa to create 2 videos that Faye and her father hope will spark a recollection or generate a new clue that will help investigators. Matt is also handing out flyers in an effort to drum up clues or valuable information. So he says, I've received some tips that I've relayed to the sheriff's office. I'm taking notes about what I see. I feel like answers can be found in this community. I'm 100% sure there's answers in that community. It's just getting people to talk, isn't it? The trouble is, if he's an immigrant, maybe he's an illegal immigrant, maybe people around there are illegally, their papers aren't in order. They're wary of talking to the police, and also they may not know about the case. Though having said that, they have released the flyers in Spanish as well. But I totally agree with him. I think the answers are there. I think what happened was he's gone, maybe he lived in LA before, but for whatever reason, he's gone to Maryland after that previous incident. Now, there'd be a reason he's gone there. He hasn't put a pin in the map and decided he's going to go there, I wouldn't think, unless it's just because it's so far away from Los Angeles. Does he know people there? Was he working in some sort of community there? Was he in the homeless community there? He knows people, and he could have been there for months. Anyway, for the next few weeks, I'm going to just keep walking the streets and keep working it, Matt said. So let's have a look at his video.
Well, I'm standing in a neighborhood about a half a mile due east of where Rachel was brutally attacked and murdered. I'm in this neighborhood because due to the proximity of the attack and the fact that I now know that the suspect likely traveled in an easterly direction after he killed Rachel, this is the prime search area that I'm targeting to try to find.
So he said that he know, or they, what do you say, think they know that he travelled in an easterly direction. It's a very beautiful place, isn't it? I mean, look at that. So beautiful. You know, it's awful to think that such horrors happen in these beautiful places.
Find clues to the suspect's identity. I've been walking around these homes, handing out flyers, talking to the community, have received some tips from the community that are relayed to the sheriff's department, and just taking notes about what I see. I do feel like answers can be found in this community. So for the next few weeks, I'm just gonna keep walking the streets and keep working it.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you, Matt. So that's the first video. Now then, what does he say? I'm cancelling. So in this video, I walk in the area of the woods the suspect was lurking in prior to attacking Rachel. I discuss how the suspect was wearing boots, jeans and a hoodie and moved in an easterly direction after the attack. That's why I'm canvassing the neighbourhood between William Street, Baltimore Pike and Route 24. A killer will typically have an anchor point within half a mile of an attack location. So since he moved in that direction, I believe he was staying in one of those homes. You know, and you'd think that'd be the easiest thing in the world to find. If he was staying in one of those homes, you know, you think that'd be the easiest thing in the world to find out, wouldn't it? You know, to track him down. But was he staying in a home, or was he staying in one of the homeless encampments, or in a trailer, or a caravan? Anyway, in one video, Matthew, I'm going to call him Matthew, not McMahon, shares how he walks through the woods where the Mar and Par Trail runs, exploring other paths and trying to see the locale through the eyes of the killer. Well, let's have a look.
So I've been spending a lot of time the last few weeks walking into these woods and exploring some of the paths, trying to see this location through the eyes of that killer. I know I'm never really going to understand his mind, and I don't want to understand his mind. But if I can just see things the way that he was seeing them, I'm hoping that I'll get some insights that can lead me in the direction of this suspect, both figuratively and literally. Some of these trails I've been following feel.
Now, I just want to say, so it's, again, very beautiful, but you'd think you would see somebody, well, it depends when this video was taken, I suppose. In the summer, it'd be full foliage, wouldn't it? You know, but although there's sort of plenty of trees to hide behind and stuff, but it looks quite sparse. You'd think you would see someone there, and of course there's a lot of people running. You know, she wasn't the only one there on that day. It's a popular park. Families go there, people jog in there, they walk in there, cycle. So that guy, Touch, very lucky to sort of be able to, he must have been quick and he must have been strong and he must have known exactly what he was doing to be able to just pluck her off the trail like that.
Feel like he was likely walking on these either the day that he killed Rachel, or when he was planning the planning phase, because he clearly planned this attack. He knew where the tunnel was, he knew where the attack location was, and because he had been lurking in these woods watching women run by, we know that he also planned where he was going to watch from. So if you look down here past these big trees, you might be able to make out this brown footbridge.
So that's interesting what he said about he'd been seen in those woods lurking, watching women run by. Maybe it wasn't a spotlighted attack on Rachel. Maybe she was just the unlucky one, unfortunately, because she probably had her earbuds in. And we've talked about this, haven't we? I think it's important that you don't feel you can't go for a walk on a trail or whatever, but I think earbuds are a no-no. You know, you've got to be alert. If you go for a walk in the woods like that, you've got to be alert to seeing people take a panic alarm, a pepper spray if you can get hold of one. You know, we've talked about all this. So anything, if you can't get hold of a pepper spray, maybe a little hairspray, travel hairspray or something you can just spray at them. A whistle. You know, whistle's a good thing because you whistle, you just need to make as much noise as possible if you get attacked, especially in a place like that. They're not going to want attention. So you've got to be alert. Make sure someone can't just creep up behind you because you've got your bloody earbuds in. Have a whistle, scream, kick, make the biggest fuss possible. I remember seeing an interview with Ted Bundy, and he was asked, what can a woman do to feel safe against people like you? And he said that. He said, kick up as much fuss as possible. Because sometimes I think people, if they're sort of kidnapped, because the killer or the attacker is bound to say to them, oh, if you scream, I'll kill you. But I'd rather they kill me there and then than take me off in a car somewhere. So, I'd rather just shoot me now. I'd just scream and kick and fuss as much as possible. And that's what Ted Bundy said to do as well, because he said most killers, they won't want the attention. Because the thing is, once you get in the car or what, you've got to kick up as much fuss as possible. That's my advice anyway. I mean, you shouldn't have to have that advice. You should be able to walk in a state park, safely. But unfortunately, you can't always do that. But definitely the earbuds. I've seen when I go walking my dogs, I see girls, women walking or jogging or whatever with their earbuds, and they're not aware of what's going on around them. Anybody could just come up behind them.
With these brown railings, that ridge is 1 minute prior to the attack location. And this path to the left runs parallel to the Monpa main trail. So somewhere out here is where the suspect was lurking, likely between this path and the main trail, lurking in the bushes, behind the trees, watching women run by. Unfortunately, on August 5th, shortly after 7 o'clock, the suspect in these woods wearing work boots, jeans, and a hoodie, sunglasses, saw Rachel and...
Yeah, now that's the first time I'd heard him described like that, but that must be other witnesses that saw him there. The work boots, so was he working in the area? What was he doing there? And I agree, David, I think Michael knows more than he's letting on, but, allegedly, I've got to say that because, they... definitely, I feel that. But you know what? We don't even know. Maybe he has told the police some things. The police aren't divulging this information, so we have to wait and see what happens. We can't judge Michael, but, you just get that feeling that he knew more. He lives in that area, he'll notice things going on, but it may well be that he does know a bit more. He has been to the police that he knows more, and the police have said not to say anything.
Decided that he had an opportunity because there was nobody else on the trail. So he attacked Rachel, and he quickly brought her back to that trail, to the tunnel, and killed her. So up here, he would have privacy. You know, in April when the vegetation's not in that much and you look down, the trail's still pretty obscured. You can see it, but in August, he would have a pretty good cloak.
So very sad, isn't it? Yeah. So the guys, Rachel's probably walking along this trail here with her earbuds in, oblivious. Remember, we watched an interview with a mum where a mum was saying they've gone there ever since Rachel was a child. You know, she had no reason to ever feel unsafe there. Nothing's ever happened there before. And then, unfortunately, on that particular day, she was not safe.
So I think right about here, right about there on the Mon Pa Trail is where the suspect killed Rachel.
Oh.
So somewhere between here and there is where the suspect was lurking in the woods.
What, he killed her there and then before he took her away? Gosh. So what he's saying there is he actually killed her there and then he dragged her to the tunnel and did whatever he did to her there, because I think she was assaulted because, you know, and of course her face was decimated apparently. So what, you know, so he just killed her straight away. Dear me. I mean, we're dealing with someone here. This is why I cannot believe this guy's not done it before or he won't do it again. Because this guy is, you know, I mean, all murderers are horrible, but he is especially horrible. What he did. So he just killed her on the trail, then dragged her off and assaulted her body and decimated her face.
And then I think after he killed Rachel, he went up this path that is not too far past where we can see, maybe another 1 minute walk tops, and it'll let you right out to that neighborhood. And that's why I'm canvassing in that neighborhood back there, because I think he killed Rachel, went up to the neighborhood on that path, and I think he went home. I think he had a place he was calling home in that neighborhood.
I agree. That poor guy, you can see it's like, okay, so that's what Matthew's doing with his time. Matt's doing with his time. He's, you know, he lives nearby, he's revisiting it. Well, I presume he lives nearby. I'm not sure exactly where Matt lives. But he is the father of Faye, Rachel's oldest child, 18-year-old Faye. And he can't let it rest. And I would be doing exactly what he's doing if that was my family member. Just going back, just trying to, till the guy's caught. Once the guy's caught, maybe you could sit back a bit then. And I bet he's not sleeping very well. You know, he probably can't. He's just determined that this guy will get caught. And I agree with him. I think he did go home. He lived there. He either lived there or he was staying there with somebody. You know, he was there for a reason, and then he probably just shipped out pretty quick after that. Very quick, probably. But yeah, maybe you'd think there'd be, because of course the police will have gone through all the CCTV. Will there be CCTV of a guy of his description packing up his car and buggering off? You know, going off somewhere. You know, we don't know all the information that the police have got because they'll just release it to us when they see fit. I think maybe in August, when the year's anniversary comes up, we might, if he's still not been found, hopefully he'll have been found by then. I think we might get a bit more information come out as the police sort of try and, you know, solve this case. Now, I did hear a while ago, wasn't it, another YouTube channel, a reputable one, a guy that used to be a police detective, has said that he had been identified, that he had heard that it had been identified, but nothing's ever come of that either. So maybe, but being identified is not the same as catching someone, is it? So, you know, you might identify someone and they've got two choices then if they identify someone. Do they put it out that this is the guy we're looking for, you know, and put him all over the TV and what have you, and try and catch him that way? Or do they keep it a secret that they know who he is because they're trying to lull him into some sort of false sense of security? You know, even sometimes the police don't want that publicity because for whatever reason. So, you know, maybe they do know exactly who he is, but they're just not divulging it yet until they've caught him. So, and where did he go from there? See, I don't think he could have gone back to Los Angeles because he's wanted in Los Angeles and he knows that. So where's he gone now? You know, he's gone he can't have stayed in that area because he would have been seen, definitely. But where has he gone? He could have gone anywhere. Just the fact that he travelled so far from Los Angeles all the way to Maryland shows us that he could have gone anywhere, literally anywhere. He could have gone, he could have crossed the border, or he could have gone to Canada, because Canada's just up the road from there. Maybe he went to Canada. Who knows where he went? Or maybe he's in New York, or, you know, if that was me, you know, obviously it wouldn't be me, but I think if you think about where would you go if you were trying to stay anonymous? I think I would go somewhere like New York or to a busy place. You've got two choices, haven't you? You either go to a busy city, you know, where you're less likely to be identified. Obviously, you change your appearance as much as possible. Go to some big city where you've maybe had no connections before. But of course, you've got to have money. You've got to eat. You know, you've got to lay your head down somewhere at night. But if he's got a car, of course, he can sleep in his car. But he could get caught doing that, couldn't he? So, you know, he won't be wanting to draw attention to himself. He'd be running out of places to go to. Another thing that did strike me is because apparently near that forest, near that state forest, there's like a church mission place. And we know that killers like Peter Tobin hid in church communities. Sometimes people do that. You know, they go and, you know, give some hard luck story, make up a name, and church communities take them on as handymen, or that's what Peter Tobin did under a false name. So it did strike me he might have done that. He might have gone to some other church community. Who knows? Or he could be in the homeless community in New York, or in some, you know, homeless communities don't talk normally, do they? So he literally could be anywhere. But I think he's probably has been identified by now. And it's just a question of finding him, though. You know, America's such a big place, isn't it? Such a big country. And although he looks so distinctive on that photo fit, he's not going to look like that now, is he? He's probably blonde now with a beard and either put on weight or lost weight, or, you know, he won't look like that now, like he looked on that night that he was caught on that video camera, or when people saw him in the photo fit. So, you know, he literally could be anywhere. Or he could be, some people have thought he might be in the forces or something. But I think, wouldn't they have his DNA if he was in the forces? I don't know. Or surely people from the forces would have seen the photo fit and recognised him. So many different possibilities. But okay, so that's it. So I just wanted to have a recap. Remember, Rachel, we must never forget Rachel. I won't ever forget her, at least once a month until this twonk is caught and behind bars, and then we'll be following the trial or whatever. But, you know, certainly I won't be, you know, forgetting about this case, along with, of course, you know, the other cases that were following. So as far as I know, nothing else has been found as far as Samantha Murphy's concerned yet. But tomorrow is always another day. Same with Anna Knezevic. The Policia Locale are searching, Nacional, I will say Local Nacional, and the FBI. Everyone's searching for concentrated searches. She will definitely be found. I'm 100% certain she will be found. And of course, Sebastian Rogers is a whole nother thing. I haven't looked at the Sebastian Rogers case for a while because I found that really quite uncomfortable. But anyway, we'll see. Maybe at the weekend I'll do an update on Sebastian Rogers. But there is no update, to be honest, apart from all the gossiping and, you know, mudslinging. There isn't really any update on the actual case. Still no, you know, no sign of him. He's disappeared beyond trace. And now tonight, of course, in tonight's live, I'm going to be talking about Peter Folding. I'm going to do part 2 of the, you know, I've had quite a lot of back and forth with the ex-employee of Peter, of which I'm 100% certain this is now, that this is, and I'll explain to you why tonight, that this genuinely is an ex-employee of Peter's. That's what we'll be talking about tonight. And then tomorrow in the Members Live, we will be looking at the body cam of Stefan Stearns and Jen Soto when they reported poor little Madeline missing. The dash cam has come out, hasn't it, from the police of that initial police interview, and we'll be looking at that together tomorrow in the Members. Okay, so thank you so much all for being here with me, and of course thank you for those of you that were worried about me. I am literally fine. Tonight I'll be all hot and bothered. It'll be warm probably, but I'm fine. Oh, hi Wesley. Oh, I'm just finishing now. So I'll see you later tonight, and as always, remember to live and love carefully, wisely, and until I see you again, may your God go with you. Thank you so much. Adios.